Welcome everyone, this is the Cobalt Helper. Today I wanted to talk about an encounter that came up with one of my groups and what I think the ramifications are of that. So I've got a group going through the Dungeon of the Mad Mage campaign. That campaign by the book involves the Xanathar Guild, but I've added a number of custom situations because I wanted to play up this idea of giving the party members the full flexibility to either decide to sort of ally with different factions or create animosity. Xanathar Guild just being one of the factions that they can potentially bump into. But in this case, the party members decided to go to the animosity route, and each time they encountered the Xanathar Guild, they killed him and and interfered with the plans of the guild. And in a lot of the cases, at least one member of the Xanathar faction escaped. So in my mind, that means somebody reported back to the guild command that there's this pesky party that more than once, even more than twice, has interfered with the guild. And then that would, of course, get the attention of the leadership, maybe all the way up to Xanathar himself, that this must stop and that this pesky party members have interfered with the Xanathar Guild for the last time, and they would be on the lookout for taking out this team. So what had happened is, in the normal course of the adventuring, there was a call for a random encounter. The players rolled. They rolled a 1, so that's supposed to be a lethal encounter, and I decided this would be a good moment to bring that idea home, and so much that the Xanathar Guild leadership had hired an assassin team, and they spared no expense to get a drow assassin team with the best poisons, the best equipment, the best trained, the most lethal. So it was a large number of drow with more than regular drow poison. Had a high level wizard, had an assassin who could hide in the shadows and do sneak attacks. And the point is that this was going to be an overwhelming encounter, and the idea that I'm trying to get at is it can be fun for the party members instead of just being in this sort of amusement park mode where you're going to go into every room and obviously we're going to kill the monsters eventually. It's just a matter of how quickly we do it or how glamorously can we do it and get their treasure. That instead this might be something that we can't necessarily win, and we have to change our mode of thinking and not just going in thinking we're going to be the boss and we're going to kill everything. We've got to get out of here with our lives. That can be cool and that can be fun. Now, right away, I know that there are many DMs that are adamant, reading on Reddit and different places, they're absolutely adamant that this is supposed to be about at every turn, every encounter, you're supposed to make the players feel like the absolute heroes, and even going so far as to fudge the dice to make sure the heroes always win and kill all the monsters. I honestly think that's really comes down to a DM getting infatuated with telling their carefully crafted story. They're just wanting to narrate their story to the party members, and the party members dying is going to ruin their story, so we just can't have that. Versus, let's actually play a role-playing game where who knows what's going to happen. But I digress. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole in this. The point is, this overwhelming encounter can be a good thing. So in this case, one of the party members went down with this drow poison, and they did the trick of giving them a kick, and they didn't wake up. And then okay, what does that mean? And then a cloud kill went off, and then an assassin came out of the shadows, and crossbow bolts are coming from all directions every round, and the party members clearly had this moment where they're like, we are not going to win this, and it just causes them to have a complete shift in their mentality of how are we going to just use all our hero powers to kill everything, to how are we going to use our abilities, our ideas, and our guile to survive and get out of here, which it just makes the world so much more immersive and so much more interesting to me. It has higher stakes, and it's not just about being on an amusement park ride, which can be kind of fun, but it's going to be safe and it's going to have a happy ending. In this case, I think it's much more interesting that maybe there won't be a happy ending if we don't make the right decisions. Um, yeah. So again, it's not about a TPK, not at all. You should be very open if they come up with a creative idea on how to escape to going with it. Um, it's not going to be a situation where they're literally, there's no way to escape. I wouldn't do that. That's just no fun. It's not about TPKing them. It's about causing them to have that moment when they realize they've got to shift to thinking, how do we escape, and making them think and be creative to get to that end is something you want to reward. So yeah, it turned out well. They did come up with some great ideas on how to recover the downed party member and get out of there with their lives. And it was a really memorable moment. I think it may potentially that could be a fight that's more memorable than yet again going in a room and killing all the orcs and just getting their treasure. So consider that. Consider that in your own dungeons as a DM. That maybe throwing at them an overwhelming encounter once in a while. That if they're not smart and they're not thoughtful, they are going to die, and I would do it. But if they are smart, they can get away. Don't create an impossible situation. I don't think I would do that. It's not the point. Can be really good. It can be very immersive. It can really change the tone of your game to be something that you're invested in, and it's exciting to meet up next week because we just don't know what's going to happen. I really think it brings something to the table that truly makes it a true role-playing game where you don't know what's going to happen, as opposed to, well, we're just being told a story where we're going to win. And I think that's really cool. So consider that once in a while, not always. You clearly want the players to have their moments. That's not what I'm saying, but once in a while. Okay, so that's my thoughts on that. Thanks, everybody. Bye.